I'm sharing this with eagerness and excitement because I know what's coming. I already know. Welcome to Against the Herd, the podcast for high performers who refuse to follow the broken models of health, success, and life. If you've ever felt like you were doing everything right, eating clean, exercising, moving, checking those boxes, but you still wake up in pain, exhausted, or just feeling off, this is for you. I'm your host, Armando Cruz, performance physical therapist, best-selling author, father, husband, ultramarathon, and someone who has dedicated the last 20 plus years to helping elite entrepreneurs, athletes, high achievers break free from pain and burnout and build lives that are both powerful and peaceful. So let me tell you what this podcast is not. It's not about the hustle. It's not about the grind. It's not about generic hacks. It's definitely not about pretending you're fine when you're falling apart behind the scenes. Against the Herd is about rewriting the playbook physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, so you can perform at the highest level without selling your soul or sacrificing your body. If you are the kind of person who feels like an outsider at the doctor's office because no one can explain why you're having pain, if you're the type of person who's built successful businesses but has ignored your health to get there, if you're the type of person that craves energy that doesn't depend on caffeine or chaos, if you are the type of person that believes that health is more than a six pack and success is more than a spreadsheet, you are in the right place. This podcast is for mavericks. It's for the misfits, the non-conformists, the ones who don't just want to survive, but the ones who want to build something that lasts. Mastery matters, and not just in business, but in your body, your relationships, your legacy. Let me tell you about someone who showed up at one of our pain profile analysis calls last year. He was a founder of a tech company. He's raised millions, spoke at all the right conferences. But when we met, um, he couldn't walk without pain. He hadn't played with his kids on the floor because he was just in so much pain. He told me, man, I've built everything except myself. Like, I feel like my body is breaking down and I don't get it. I'm not old enough for this to happen. He didn't need to stretch more. What he needed was a complete reframe. That's what we did. 6 months later, not only was he pain free, he was able to run his first 10K. He started date nights and was able to play with his kids again. I finally feel like the man that I was pretending to be, he said. Like it often happens that when you're dealing with high achievers, because they're so used to success, that sensation of like, hey, I got to put up this front is very high. And so when he tells me, it's like, hey, I'm finally like living the life that I was pretending to live, but I can do it without pain. I can do it with movement, with the freedom of movement, right? That I wasn't able to. And that's truly what the kinds of transformation that Against the Herd is about. It's less pretending, more about becoming, getting that clarity, that understanding. Um, I want to share with you some things that you can expect this season, right? I'm super excited. Obviously, it's funny because when you make the first podcast of the season, um, it comes with the knowledge of all the interviews you've already done. So I am sharing this with eagerness and excitement because I know what's coming. I already know. So this season, here's some things that you can expect. Raw, unfiltered conversations with high performers who've quite literally been broken down, rebuilt, and now lead with more clarity. And this includes athletes, entrepreneurs, missionaries, creatives, and more. These are just some of the highlight reels. We do go into some more dark things in some of those interviews that some people skip. Not everybody likes to talk about those things, and these guys were able to step into that and share it with courage, and I think it could be quite helpful. Then we had some solo episodes. That means it was just me, no interviews, where like the goal was to unpack some powerful frameworks that could possibly help, like, hey, how to eliminate chronic pain, um, how to build seven-dimensional health, how to create bulletproof habits, how to rewire your nervous system for performance under pressure, and then how to reclaim your identity after setbacks. That's a huge one. I'm excited for you to get to that one as well. Number three, storytelling that hits deep. Um, because, you know, that is good, but there's something about story that brings clarity and conviction. It brings data to life. And that's exactly what each episode is meant to be. It's practical, it's philosophical, and personal. I share personal stories. The people share personal stories. You'll get to meet people like Valeria, who was shot in the chest. She's broken multiple times. Um, and she somehow still managed to finish an Ironman and has currently her art is literally out of this world. It is in space as we speak. James in the US Army as a chaplain. He was a finalist at the Netflix Ultimate Beastmaster and American Ninja Warrior. Um, he kind of shares his insights in performance, from music to movement to faith, and how to fuel high performance. Um, you get to meet Kirsten. Kirsten, a visual storyteller who overcame pain doctors couldn't really explain, um, and transformed her healing journey into a thriving creative agency. Then we have Alex, who came back from a um, torn Achilles rupture, and he shares a powerful system he uses called threshold anchors to help with his recovery and his mindset along the way. These are not just stories of people who followed the script. It's stories of people who tore that script up and wrote a better one, right? Like, these people weren't supposed to succeed, but somehow they did. They look for something better. They looked for not what the masses were doing. They looked for what was against the herd, right? Hence the name of the podcast, right? So here's what I promise you as the host. Every episode will challenge you to think differently, feel deeper, live with more intention, and stop outsourcing your health, your power, and your purpose. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to serve you by helping you reconnect with what's real. If you've been living someone else's script, if if your body, your mind, your heart continue to send these warning signs, and this is one of the things we actually dive in deep into, is listening to these signs. Your body is talking to you at all times, and are we listening to it? If you're done with this like surface level solution and want to build up um, optimal health, want to build up a legacy you can be proud of, let's hit the follow button, listen in, and join this growing resistance of high performers who are done settling, because you weren't built to blend in, you were built to lead and go against the herd. Until next time, I am Armando Cruz, and we're just getting started.